The recently opened Sports Museum of America in Lower Manhattan has the sort of memorabilia that you would expect from a museum dedicated to the history of U.S. sports. A brick from Ebbets Field, home to the Brooklyn Dodgers before they hightailed it to Los Angeles in 1957, while the beloved ballpark was demolished 3 years later. It also has jerseys from basketball's best operators, Dr. J, Julius Erving, Willis Reed, and Patrick Ewing, along with shots of some of basketball's most brilliant architects, such as Bill Bradley, Red Auerbach, Phil Jackson, and His Airness, Michael Jordan. But these items just scratch the surface.
We have more than 60 official sports partners, such as the Basketball Hall of Fame, the Football Hall of Fame, the Tennis Hall of Fame. We also have more than 300 lenders. Total, we have more than 900 artifacts on display, and there's 125 display cases and 19 galleries and about 30,000 square feet of exhibit space. We have more than 50 sports in the museum. It's the things that make America great. Jackie Robinson led the integration of baseball years before schools were integrated. We have the last bat that Jackie Robinson ever used in his entire career on display. We tell the story about America through sports.
At the Sports Museum, you get to play the field. Squeeze a baseball bat that was used by Yankee slugger Alex Rodriguez, or poke your head around the interior of the sports car driven by NASCAR champion Jimmy Johnson in 2006. The museum is also home to the original Heisman Trophy from 1935, the centerpiece of an exhibit dedicated to all of the gridiron greats who have achieved college football's highest honor. But in a digital age, museums have to adapt to attendees who not only want to learn, but also want to participate. And at the Sports Museum, you can do that through a variety of interactive exhibits. For instance, test your defensive skills in basketball at an exhibit called Quick Hands. Play goalie and see up close and personal what it's like to have a hockey puck whizzing by your face at 80 miles an hour. Or try to maintain for more than 5 minutes the speed generated by professional cyclists, around 120 rotations per minute for those of you keeping score. Josiah Hobson, partner and chief creative officer of Operand, an interactive design agency, helped to put the interactive exhibits together.
In this museum, like in a lot of museums, they have a lot of information that they want to convey through an interactive activity. It's a lot of times it's just a database of a lot of textual information or a database of a bunch of different video moments that they want to showcase. And we try to bring a more interesting form factor. So a good example of that in this museum is the Baseball Interactive. In the Baseball Interactive, you walk into the room and there's a huge panoramic photograph on the wall of the inside of a ballpark. It's actually an amalgam of all different ballparks put together. And there are two big screens. They're large format screens put up on end, portrait, and they have big handles on the side that you walk up and you grab this handle and you can actually turn the screen. And as you turn the screen, you are navigating within the inside of a ballpark, and you can scroll all around 360 degrees. And as you scroll through, you see stills of baseball players on the field, and those are each associated with a particular moment, a great moment in baseball history. And you can stop over one, and a video will play.
Boston's Green Monster against Cincinnati's Big Red Machine. And on this night, the Monster won, as New England native Carlton Fisk, in what has become one of baseball's most famous moments, homered off the foul pole in the bottom of the 12th inning, giving the Red Sox a 7-6 win in Game 6 of the World Series.
So this is just an interesting way of making it a little more engaging to find your way into these, 18 different videos that are inside this activity, rather than just kind of going through a list and having to look at it that way.
Overall, the museum features 24 interactive exhibits and touchscreens, 20 original films, and 19 themed galleries in every major sport. Plus, one particularly trippy exhibit that defies category. Between 700,000 and 800,000 people are expected to visit the museum in its first year alone. Hobson says traditional museums are going to have to embrace more digital-type technologies if they want to stay viable for the future. And when you consider the velocity of change and how people's habits are changing with media, becoming more active as opposed to passive, I mean, do you foresee a day when the Met could do a interactive exhibit that takes you back to the antiquities, or the Museum of the City of New York taking you back to the 5 Points era? I mean, is that where you see the pendulum swinging?
I do. I think that historically, very classical museums like art museums have been the most reluctant to adopt interactive technologies. Obviously, more technological museums like science centers have adopted them, pretty readily. A lot of children's museums have a lot of interactives. So there's a lot of interaction there. But I mean, one of the things that you can say about a place like the Met, for instance, or the MoMA, is a lot of times there's a lot of rich information that you can convey about a painting or a sculpture or an artist and their life, and so you can craft a richer experience. A lot of museums traditionally have done that with a lot of text on placards on the wall, but that kind of stuff can be made more engaging, I think, with interactives.
In a digital age, it's all about choice. And such is life at the Sports Museum of America, where you can call the shots both figuratively and literally.
Harmon will probably try to squib it, and he does. Ball comes loose, and the Bears have to get out of bounds. He's going to go into the end zone. He got into the end zone. The Bears have won. The Bears have won.
This is Matthew Schwartz for ScribeMedia.org.
The most amazing, sensational, traumatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football.